Hey guys, this is Agent Mindstorm, and today I want to show you guys how to build a fully automatic kelp farm. What is... Okay, let's just ignore that for now, and talk about the fact that why am I making this video so long after kelp has come out? Well, for starters, a kelp farm is very difficult to do. As in, like, ridiculously difficult, because kelp has this problem where... That's weird. Kelp will just sink sometimes and float sometimes, and it's very inconsistent, so I had to come up with many ways of collection, and then just making it all fit together into a nice little compact-ish design. You know, it took some effort, but I can confidently say that we're there. Let's try to fix what... Oh my gosh. We are currently in the bugged beta version of the game. The reason you're not seeing the beta text is because I'm using a resource pack to fix it. But, yes, the game is currently in a bugged beta, so weird bugs are bound to happen. Hopefully they don't distract you too much, but, yeah. Let's get to the tutorial. Now, this farm is built to work on both Java and Bedrock Edition. I've tested it on both, and it works completely on both. Console Edition I'm not so sure about because I do not have a PS4 or an Xbox 360 to test the update Aquatic, so I can't tell you if it works on Console Edition, so you might just have to try it, it might not work, I'm sorry about that. But, you are going to need 30 hoppers, 30 observers, 30 pistons, 1 sticky piston, 1 redstone torch, 2 redstone comparators, 4 redstone repeaters, 60 redstone dust, 30 sand, 30 kelp, 45 signs, and water and blocks. Now these two, you don't just need one water bucket, you're going to need quite a few, so I would just recommend setting up an infinite water source, and blocks are so easy to get in this game. This is a game made of blocks, you should be just fine to get that. The dimensions of the farm are 21 by 11, it's 11 width and 21 sideways, and then it's 7 blocks tall. So it's a pretty big farm compared to most of the stuff I make on this channel, but it is required due to the fact that kelp is just really finicky, and also water and redstone don't usually mix too well. The very first part of the farm that we're going to build is the collection system. So the very first hopper, you're just going to come to the straight middle of the 11 blocks and then go 5 blocks out. Bam, that's your hopper. This is where all the items in the farm are going to go to. So you can really put this hopper out to anywhere. I just have it going out to show you can really put it anywhere. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to put a double chest here. This is not required. You can make it as long a hopper chain as you want, but for now, we're just going to do this so I can show you. Now, from this hopper, build 4 blocks out in both directions with more hoppers. This is going to be your hopper transport from the 2 main water chains. So, from each hopper that you've built out to, the furthest one, build back 7 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, you're going to build up walls around the hopper and the little track you built. Let's fix that part of the floor I broke. And just build it all the way back, and all the way, you can build over this hopper just fine, it will not mess anything up, and then put a sign right above this hopper. This is actually a completely optional sign, it's not counted in the item count because it's not necessary, but you can put it there if you want the farm to look just a little bit better. Now, on the very end of this trail track thing we have here, build up 2 blocks, you can break the bottom one if you want, then go out 7 more blocks from this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once again, build up walls on all the way around it, and then also extend the wall from the first part of the farm up to match this one. This should bring you right to the very end of your 21 block long area. So this part really does stretch very long, because this is the water collection system. Now, put water in it, boom. It should flow right to the edge and then not flow over. If it flows over or if it stops early, you've built it wrong. Then build 1 more, it should flow 7 and then stop at the hopper if you've placed the sign. If you didn't place the sign, it'll flow right over the hopper. Really no main difference, but it looks better this way. Now, just repeat the exact same process, but on the opposite side. This is a 2-sided farm. You can just build one side of this farm if you wish, but it'll be, obviously, only half as efficient, and it won't be symmetrical. So, really some stuff taken to account when you think about how much of this farm you want to build. Honestly, if you're gonna go big with kelp, just go all the way, you know? Why even get just a little kelp when you could have all the kelp in the world? You could actually hook this farm up to a smoker if you wanted to, and then you could get a fully automatic dried kelp farm, and with dried kelp you can make dried kelp blocks, which are able to power furnaces for a very long time. It's a very good feature. Now that the water is in place, we can start building the part where the kelp is actually going to be. So you're going to want to build out from the very end of the water, just go boom, boom. Now this right here, you're going to build this all along the length of where the water goes. This is what the sign helps with because it helps you line up the water should go exactly as long as that bar. If you don't put the sign, you'll just have to remember to stop one before it. Now, place the sand all along there, and you should get the level that the kelp will be growing on. Do the exact same on the opposite side, like this, and this is now the block where your kelp's going to be. But we're not going to place the kelp yet. In fact, we're going to place the kelp as the very last thing in this farm. What we're going to place before that are the observers. So get out your observer, make sure that the red side, the side that has the flashy part, is facing towards the middle of the farm, and then build it like this, because the face needs to be looking at the block where the sand is, because that's going to be detecting kelp. The face is what detects. Without the face, the observer doesn't work. And it's quite frustrating to build along sometimes, especially in survival, so just stick it out. Sometimes we'll get a good thing going and then it'll break like that, but there you go. 15 blocks of observers. I don't know what happened here. I must have forgotten one. Then, between the observers, place a block, and then bring that down the whole length of the observer lines on both sides. And now this is going to be the redstone line that gets bowered. This is where your first redstone goes, right down the middle. Now, you need to put some blocks down here too, underneath the observers, once they are placed in. It's kind of harder to place them and the redstone if you have blocks down here, so place the observers first. Then place blocks down here so the kelp won't fall out. Now, on the side of the sand, place a block up like this, just to level with the observers for now. It's going to be higher in the future, but for now, it just needs to be level with the observers. Bam, just like that. Now, straight across from the observers, right where they're looking, we're going to be putting pistons, just like this. Make sure the piston face is facing the observer. They should be looking at each other. It's a beautiful love story. Now just drag it all the way along to the end of the line with everything else. Now, unlike the observers, you do not want to put a block down here. This needs to stay empty, because that's where the kelp's going to flow out. Repeat the same process as usual on the opposite side. And then we're going to finish the part where the water collects, because this is still open back here. That's not really acceptable. So clear out this little area. You can put a block next to the piston if you want. It will lower the chance of kelp falling out. Then build one down over here, kind of like this, so the wall goes one block above the water level. Do that exact same thing on the opposite side, as with every step. In fact, every step is going to be done on both sides, so I don't even know why I'm specifying it. But it's just to be as clear as possible. Both sides get the same treatment. Now that we have these walls built up, one block higher, look at this block right above the water and place a sign there. This sign is necessary. This is in the amount of signs count because this is required. Without these signs, the farm will not work correctly and a lot of items will get lost. So place an entire row of 15 signs here. This could take a while. And then this last block above the hopper, you can just place a normal block up here. You don't even need a sign. It's a lot better, and it saves you from wasting even more wood than you usually would. Get it? So then we can do the exact same on the opposite side. This is going to take a little while, so I skipped it. And then the very last thing we're going to do to finalize the beginning part of this farm is place a block level with the pistons straight behind it, going all the way across, right above the signs, to block off the view of the air. Now items that flow down there cannot get lost because the only place they flow is straight to the hoppers. Now we are going to build the top collection system because there are actually two collection systems in this farm. The lower one, which we just finished building, and the upper one, which we are building now. So build the whole walls around the kelp farm up. Wait, no, not behind the pistons. That is not a good idea. Do it straight above the pistons this time, because the pistons can have blocks above them, but not below them. Same with the observers. Build all on top of the observers, so you've got like a nice little one block area here where the sand is exactly on the bottom. Once again, as with everything else in this farm, repeat with the opposite side. Now, once this is up to the top, we need to actually build a wall around this entire zone. So on these edge blocks here, you can build up, and then you're going out like this. Now, you'll want to break the block right here in the middle that's on the side with your chest, because it's, well, actually not even with your chest, just with your hopper collection system. You want this block to be broken. Believe me. Now, over here, just build all the way around the entire perimeter of the farm. This part we are not going to do on both sides, because in fact, it goes around both sides, so we don't even need to do it on both sides, because it involves both sides in the first place. Now, we are going to place our remaining hoppers straight down the middle. So you'll want to start it down here from this hopper or this hopper, but not the middle one. I know it's annoying, it's not symmetrical, but believe me, there's a good reason you don't want it going down the middle. We're going to be putting redstone there. So build this out, and now once you've got a hopper here, you're basically home free. Just, wait, no, not there. Here, you're basically home free. Just build out this way, all the way down the entire line, right above the redstone. And make sure they all connect into each other. If they don't connect into each other, then they won't flow properly, and you'll just have a bunch of broken stuff. Now, we're going to do a bunch more sign placing. Every single one of these hoppers in the middle needs a sign placed on it, so once again, we're just going to skip through this part, because this is really boring. All the signs have been placed. Now, at the very end, you can actually close this off since the hoppers are now in place, and the final thing you're going to do up here is... I did this wrong. Okay, I apologize for people who have watched this far into the video and been following along the entire time. This wall here is going to need to be broken and built above the pistons. It needs to go above the pistons, I promise. I'm sorry about that. You are just going to need to rebuild that. It shouldn't take too long. It's like 5 seconds. You should be fine. Whatever. There we go. Now, take your water buckets. You're going to need a lot of water for this part, because each individual block needs to be a water source, and just fill this entire part with water sources. Every single block here should be a water source. And then it'll flow down, and this is where we can see the lower system in action, because the lower system down here, if it could ever let me down, as you can see, this is what the signs are blocking off. This water here. I don't know why there's not a block here. We should probably fix that. Then... as you can see, the water's now in place, and the top collection system is done. That means all the collection systems are now in place. For the final step, we're going to be building the redstone. So do you see this block right here that's right above the pistons? Put redstone on it, just along the entire one, on both sides, as usual. Now, on the same side that all your hoppers are on, you're going to want to extend the middle line of redstone out 1 block, so it should go next to your hoppers. This is why we can't build the hoppers straight down, because there's redstone that needs to go here. Place a repeater here, then we're not going to place a redstone over here. Instead, we're going to build out 3 blocks, break these 2, place a sticky piston, and then break this. Now, place a normal block, any block that can conduct redstone right here, and finally build down diagonally 1 from the repeater block like this, out 3, and then up diagonally behind the piston. Place your 1 redstone torch, which I have somehow forgotten, right behind the piston like this, then place a redstone repeater down here, set this to 3 ticks. You might have to change it if you're on Java Edition, but you should be fine. Then put it 2 blocks out here of redstone dust so that it connects straight to this here. Now, you can actually skip this next step here if you're on Java Edition. I mean, if you're on Bedrock Edition. If you're on Java Edition, though, this step is required for the farm to not be going off constantly. So build out like this from this redstone torch block. Then build out in a 2x3 area like this. Place a redstone comparator here, and then place redstone all around these like this. This has just created a comparator clock, so it cannot go off too quickly. So let me show you what happens if this gets activated. This piston deactivates for a little while longer with the comparator clock than not. You shouldn't need that on Bedrock Edition, but on Java Edition, it is necessary. Now, out from this block that the redstone repeater is charging, that's being held by the piston, place a block here, and place a block here. Place redstone dust on both of them, and then go up diagonally 1 towards the other redstone on both sides. Now, finally, build around here like this, and put a repeater here, and here, and then connect it to your little redstone trail, and you should be done. This is now a fully functional farm, except wait, you need to put the farm in it. So place the kelp blocks in every square. This should be self-explanatory. It's already growing. This is so efficient. Yeah, kelp grows pretty darn fast. So you're just going to want to place every single block. Boom. Kelp. And there you go. Your farm is now functional. So as you can see, the kelp gets harvested when it gets hit. So the kelp, there are 2 options that happen with the kelp. Either the kelp floats up, gets pushed into these hoppers, and then goes down into the chest. Down here, as you can see, it's already got 4 kelp in it. Or it goes down, it gets stuck in this block, and then floats under these pistons and down into the system. Either way, all of your kelp is ending up right here. And yeah, that's the farm. It's fully operational, and I hope this helped you. because this farm is a pain to get working, but it works. So guys, I do want to tell you all, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.